Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us.
It can stop working.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and I am joined tonight by none other than, that's right, we call him the Big B. How you doing tonight, Big B?
Hey, doing good. Got out for my first round of golf today. Did not lose a ball, so that's a plus for me.
I love it. Okay, J-Mac, the bearded one. How about yourself? How you doing tonight?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. No complaints. I didn't get to golf today because I was stuck inside a building all day, but I'm gonna hope to golf tomorrow. I got a day off tomorrow. I'm gonna hope to go play some golf. So
I need to get out on the golf course. It's been a while since I've been out there. But before we jump into our topics, J-Mac, I believe that there was something that you wanted to get out there and talk about a little bit.
yes. So you all know that we run some sponsored ads, and that's how we pay the bills. But we actually have some sponsors that we haven't gotten to talk about yet because I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and make an ad for them. So one of them is AIM Supplements. This is one of their aminos thing. And you're going to be seeing a lot with this. We're going to be doing some stuff. Brandon's going to be using some of their products, and we'll get some testimonials going on that. We also have M8 clothing line, and then we have a baby one, and Euro baby, something like that. So yeah, that's one that we have as well. So you could check out all those on our website. The easiest way to find our website is to go to our Facebook page, go down to info, and click right there on our website, and all the information for all our sponsors on there. Check them out. Help us out. That's how we pay the bills. We appreciate you for that very much.
All right, well, thank you for that, Mr. J-Mac. And before we jump into our topics, I want to give a shout out. Say, Mr. Randy Cox is saying, "Hey guys," and then of course, we have Isaiah. So Isaiah, who's watching tonight, I want to say what's up. And for anybody who may not know, that's right, you can catch me tomorrow night on Isaiah's M16 network. That's right, Ace himself will be co-hosting on the M16 network tomorrow, so you can go ahead and check that out. We also have another fan, Jan Nay, is saying hello. So hey there, how's it going tonight? I hope everything is going great for you tonight. And you're watching another episode of Sports Minute, of course. So, J-Mac, was there anything else that you needed to go ahead and throw out there?
No. If we decide to other things going to happen, I'll announce it tomorrow.
All right.
Yeah.
So tonight we got some great topics for you. Okay. So every week, one topic that we talk about every week is that we go over a top 5 quarterbacks list of a certain NFL team. Last week we did, I believe it was Pittsburgh that we did last week, if I do believe. So this week we actually get to do, that's right, we get to do the one, the only, the Cleveland Browns. So the top 5 Cleveland Browns quarterback of all time. So let's see what wonderful quarterbacks the people came up with. And I'll tell you this, okay? There's been so many Cleveland Browns quarterbacks in the history of their franchise that when you look at their top 5, you're like, oh, man, there was some doozies out there. So a top 5 pick list is kind of hard to pick, especially for a Cleveland Browns team. But you know what? You know who gets the honor this time? Because I don't want to make him sad. And I know last time J-Mac got to do it, so I don't want to hurt Big B's feelings.
Thank God.
So this time I got to go over to Big B because I don't want to hurt his feelings. So Big B, you go ahead. You give me your top 5 list. You tell me who's your top 5 Cleveland Browns quarterback of all time.
I mean, it was one of those that, I mean, to me, one quarterback really stuck out. But after looking at his stats, I don't know where you guys are going to rank them. But for me, 5 is Melt Plum, 2-time Pro Bowler, 33, 16, and 2 for a record. Just under 9,000 passing yards, 66 touchdowns, and 39 interceptions. Of the 33 games he won, he had 7 game-winning touchdown or game-winning drives. Frank Ryan is number 4 for me. 3-time Pro Bowler, 1-time NFL champ, 52 and 22 and 2 record, 13,000 yards, 13,361 yards, 134 touchdowns and 88 interceptions. Brian Sipe, I'm gonna say, 1 Pro Bowl, 57 and 55 record, 23,713 yards, 154 touchdowns, 149 for interception. So pretty much every time he threw a touchdown, he threw a pick. 23 game-winning drives. Otis Graham, the only Hall of Famer I have on the list, 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time NFL champ, 4-time AAFC champ, 57-13, but couldn't find any records before that, so kind of incomplete. 23,000 yards, 174 touchdowns, 135 picks. In the playoffs, he was 9-3, so he was in the clutch. And then for me, number 1, the guy that came to mind right away was Bernie Kosar. 1 Pro Bowl, 53 and 51, 21,000 yards, almost 22,000, 116 touchdowns, 81 picks. But the reason why I put him number 1 is because he was the main driving force to get the Browns back into Cleveland. So to me, that's kind of, when I think of Cleveland Browns, I kind of think of Kosar being the catalyst of that. So that's my top 5.
I must say, I think I was a little surprised there that I seriously thought that most people were going to go with Otto Graham at number 1, because Otto Graham did play for the Super Bowl game, so he was able to get Cleveland Brown those championships that weren't classified as Super Bowls. So that's why I thought that a lot of people, if they had a top 5 quarterback list of Cleveland Browns of all time, that's why I thought for sure that people would be like, oh, number 1 Cleveland Browns quarterback of all time is Otto Graham. But for me, and J-Mac agrees with me a lot on this one,
he does.
is that for us, a big time thing is wins. So wins is huge. It's a statistical category of quarterback wins. So that's why my number 5 quarterback, I actually went with Bill Nelson, because overall, when you look at Bill Nelson, he was 34, 16, and 1. His playoff record, he had a 2-3 overall playoff record. He played from 1968 to 1972. He wasn't statistically great, but one thing he did do, like I said, in Cleveland, is he won games. And I've always said that a big statistical category in football is, can you win games? And he did that, and he won a couple playoff games. So that's why I had to put him there. He did have 9,000 yards. He had 71 touchdowns to 71 interceptions. So nothing spectacular, but it's the wins that is there. And then when you look overall, number 4, and I might be saying this name wrong, but I think it's Brian Sipe. I think that's how you say his name.
It is. Yes.
He did. I put him at number 4. He won a NFL MVP. That was actually in 1980. And, of course, that was right around the year still to where the Cleveland Browns still weren't a great team. They had still not been in the playoffs for many, many years. And everyone's like, oh, it's the Cleveland Browns. They're terrible. And then last year they finally broke that, of actually winning a playoff game after so many seasons. And the one thing, Big B, that I will say is I'm glad you did not put in your top 5 list, is I'm glad you didn't put Baker Mayfield in your top 5. And some people might, but it's not quite there yet. So you can't.
No, I don't like putting. I mean, we kind of agree. We don't like putting active players on the list unless that's all we have. So.
Well, you can though, because
we can.
Absolutely, because there's certain teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers last week. Big Ben is still active, but we had to put Ben Roethlisberger in.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unless there's this exception, so.
Russell Wilson, top 5, absolutely. So then we go to number 3, and we have none other than, that's right, we call him Frank Ryan, 52, 22-2 as a winning record overall. So he was still there. He still won them a ton of games. Statistically, wasn't great in the playoffs. He was 1-3, so still mediocre, but he won games. And that, to me, is a huge statistical category right there. And then number 2, I kind of went the flip-flop of you there, Big B. I actually went with Bernie Kosar at number 2, and I went Autogram at number 1. The only reason being, like I said before, because Autogram has those championships. So that's why I had to put Autogram at number 1. We do have a few comments in the comments section here. Randy Kopp.
No. I get to do Randy's.
Okay. Go ahead, J-Mac. You can take Randy Cox's top 5. That's all you.
You're right. I get to say his top 5 because this is a guy who is still complaining about the trivia stuff. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to know more than you. Well, you don't, obviously, when you have Baker Mayfield, Colt McCoy, Vinny Testaverde, Bernie Kosar, and Brian Sipe as your top 5. Get out of here.
Let me ask you this. Where is Autogram? How can you not have Autogram in your top 5?
How can you have Testaverde in your top 5?
How can you have Baker Mayfield in your top 5?
I mean, okay. I have not done my top 5 yet, so I have to tell you.
I completely understand. Okay, Mr. Randy Cox, I understand it's your opinion. I completely understand that, but it's wrong. So I'm going to tell you, your opinion is wrong. That is blasphemous. That's all I'm saying right now. That's a crazy opinion. But I'll give a shout out to Lisa quick. Lisa's saying hi. It's good to see you.
Hey, Lisa.
Shout out to her. Say hello. It's great to see you also. So J-Mac, the bearded one, it is your turn now.
So actually, number 5, I do have Baker Mayfield for one reason. We talk about wins. No, listen. We talk about wins. And he actually set the record for the most home wins in their stadium last year. He finally beat Ben Roethlisberger. So think about that. It was a opponent that had the most wins in their stadium. Baker Mayfield broke that. So even though he may not statistically be there yet, I do want to give him a shout out for that. So I do think he's at number 5. He took them into the playoffs. Whether it was him or not that did it doesn't matter. He did set that record. So I do have Baker Mayfield at number 5. So for me, Mayfield's at 5. 3 and 4 I think could have went a couple of different ways for me. But actually at 3 I had Bill Nelson. Like you've already said, 34-16-1, 676 winning percentage, which is unheard of in Cleveland. And then 3 for me is Frank Ryan. Again, 52-22-2, a 697 winning percentage, which is unheard of in today's game. And then number 2, I'm with Ace on this one. Number 2 is Bernie Kosar. 53-51-1 in 105 starts. He started the second most games in Cleveland Browns history. Which the most games were started by Brian Sipe, but Brian Sipe is not my number 1. Don't worry, he's not my number 1 because Autogram is. Autogram started 71 games in Cleveland and he won 57 of them. 57-13-1. He had a winning percentage of 810.
I'll have him call you back in a little bit.
And so all of those championships.
Okay.
So yeah, Autogram is hands down the number 1 quarterback in Cleveland Browns history.
All right. So I am back here. So J-Mac, I will say that your top 5 list, and I'm not saying that you're wrong for putting Baker in the top 5 because of wins.
Yep.
And I don't know. A lot of people ask me when it comes to this how I can classify wins as a big category when obviously you have guys like Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, and guys who have gone out and won a Super Bowl, okay, who have won it. So they have wins because they have that ring. Would you put them as a top 5? No. But here's the thing. The reason why I look at wins too is because you got to look back in maybe the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, when it wasn't technically a passing league. It wasn't then. And so you can't punish the quarterbacks that played way back then and be like, well, they didn't have the same numbers, so you can't put them in the top 5. You can't do that because that's not fair to the quarterbacks back then. So that to me is why I also look at wins too, and maybe a little bit of production, but wins is a big thing, especially back then.
And let's just go back to Randy Cox's list for a minute. You also have Colt McCoy in the top 5. Really?
Might as well have
Colt
you might as well have Kelly Holcomb in there.
Hey, Kelly Holcomb did get him to the playoffs, but still, I'm not. He got him there, but that's still ridiculous. That's
so did Baker Mayfield, and what happened
exactly,
then?
Exactly. So with that, Big B, is there anything else you need to say on this topic of top 5 Cleveland Browns quarterbacks?
No, I mean I can see why you guys put Autogram up there, and yeah, maybe I should have. I just, when it comes to mind, it's like, I just think of Cozart as the catalyst. I mean, yeah, Graham's got the stuff, so I mean, I'm fine flip-flopping them. You guys went 1-2, I went 2-1, I guess. So
hey, that's okay. That's okay. I'm not saying that's wrong.
Oh no, I get it. I mean, we talk about it every week. It's our opinion. It's what we think. I mean, that's why we have the topics.
All right. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into topic number 2, which is actually a college football topic. Okay, so we have seen for multiple years that Alabama seems to always be in the college football playoffs for multiple years. And then everyone says that they're sick and tired of seeing Alabama in it. So the reason why I put this topic in there is because I want to hear what you guys think. How long is Alabama going to continue to be this dynasty in college football that everyone's saying? And J-Mac, you get to go first on this one since Big B went first on the last one.
Then beat them. Plain and simple. You want to knock someone off the top. It's the same thing when we talked about UConn women's basketball. You don't want to see them in the Final Four, then beat them. It's that simple. It really, there's no other way to describe it. You don't want to see them in the college football playoff, then you go out there and beat the brakes off of them. You go out there and beat them 60-14 and make sure that they don't get in the college football playoff. There's no other way to really say it. So how long can they be a dynasty? Until someone goes out there and beats the brakes off of them.
Or until Nick Saban decides to step down.
I mean, maybe, but it that doesn't mean anything for sure as far as if Nick Saban steps down. Because come on, if someone walks into your house and they're like, you got a chance, you're getting a scholarship offer from Alabama, Texas A&M, Missouri, and Iowa. Where are you going?
You're going to Alabama.
I'm going to Alabama. I know I'm going to win. I know I'm going to be in the college football playoff and a chance to win a natty. I'm not going to mess around with it. So, how long are they going to be until someone goes out and beats the brakes off them? It's that simple. Until year after year they consistently are not in there, and someone finds the formula to beat them, which has not happened yet. They're going to be there.
So let me ask you this: do you consider Nick Saban and college football, like, do you consider him the Bill Belichick of college football?
I put Bill. I almost said Bill Belichick because you said that. I put Nick Saban in the top 5 for college football coaches of all time, and probably top 3. I can't say he's number 1 because we've had some great ones, but I will say top 5, maybe top 3 all time. Yes.
So Big B.
Yeah.
Alabama. What do you think? How long are they going to be a dynasty?
Well, like J-Mac said, I mean, until somebody beats them. I mean, even if Nick Saban stepped down, they're still going to be a powerhouse. The only way it's going to change if some of these recruiting rules change, or if a scout from other teams, or the players, I should say, players that get recruited be like, you know what? Yeah, I could go to Alabama and play in the national championship game, but let me go to Iowa. Let me turn that program around. I mean, until they get a recruiting class that wants to do that, kind of like the Fab Five did in Michigan, where they were the group that brought Michigan back.
Hmm.
I mean, until we get a class that wants to prove that they can do it without Alabama and not just be another name, and want to be the names that build the program and beats Alabama. I mean, Alabama's going to run the table forever. You might as well just put them in the national championship game every year. Let them just play that one game. I mean, but yeah, I mean, J-Mac's point is dead on. Beat them. That's all you can do.
I mean, it's kind of funny because when you look at it year in and year out, whenever the college football schedule comes out, you can look at their college football schedule and be like, okay, Alabama's going to play LSU. They're going to play let's say Mississippi State. They're going to play, and so you go through the whole list, and you're like, yep, we have them losing 3 or 4 games this year because people want to see it. People want them to lose 3 or 4 games, so they come out and immediately say that they're going to lose those 3 or 4 games, which in reality, it's just not going to happen. It's not. Because they're one of those powerhouse teams that you're like, okay, realistically, you want them to lose the 3 or 4 games because you're tired of seeing them there. But in reality, it's not going to happen.
No, I mean, anybody on that roster, I don't know how many they carry. I think it's different for road games and home games. Anybody on that roster could start on probably 95% of the teams that aren't Alabama or LSU or, So a lot of those guys are turning down places to start just to be on Alabama. So they got a stacked roster from day one.
Well, yeah, and the funny thing is you can look at it because think about this year in the NFL draft. They had, I think, 7 players drafted within like the first 2 rounds. So if you look at that, then people go, okay, well, they lost Mac Jones. They lost Jalen Waddle. They lost Smith. They lost Harris. They lost, and then the list goes on and on and on, and people go, there's no way that Alabama can be the same team next year because of as many guys as they lost. And then what happens? Alabama comes out the very next year, and they're just as good as they were the year before.
Well, yeah,
when people say they lost all those people, and there's no way that they could be just as good.
Because they probably don't have a guy that's not a 4-star recruit. I mean, their punter's probably the worst, and he's probably a 3-star recruit that could probably punt anywhere. But, I mean, yeah, they lost all those guys this year, but they got backup. They just retooled. They got 4 or 5-star recruits that probably didn't even start last year that'll start this year. So, yeah, I mean, J-Mac said it plain and simple. Beat them.
Okay, so Randy Cox has another comment here that says Alabama is to college football as Tom Brady is to the NFL and as Charlotte Flair is to the WWE. So I don't exactly know what he's pertaining to by the whole Tom Brady thing in the NFL. It's
that we're all sick of them winning.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, I think that's probably what it is that we're kind of sick of them winning or whatever, and we don't want to see it anymore. Yep. But you basically have to go out and beat them. That's pretty much and it's funny though too because you got to think you had that LSU team, right, with Burrow and Jamar Chase and these guys who they actually when they were that really good team, they won that national championship, and Burrow had a heck of a season. And then the next year in the draft, they lost all these guys. And then everybody was like, okay, LSU lost all these guys. There's no way that they're going to be the same team. Well, guess what? That LSU team was not the same team. But there's a difference. LSU, they don't get quite good as recruits as Alabama does. So when LSU goes out and loses all these players, they're generally not the same team. Alabama is still that same team regardless.
That's because they own the entire Southeast. They get the best recruits from Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. It goes on and on and on. They get the best recruits from all those states. So they can get everyone's top players from all those states and just stack them up on a team. You get 90 players that you can dress in a game in college football. 90. Okay. And they probably have, of the 90, they probably have the top they have top 20
Mhm.
players on their team as far as that goes for the season.
Well, it's just like the Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State gets everybody in the Midwest. I mean, so
Yeah, well, because I'm saying, imagine being a scout, right, for a Mississippi State or Ole Miss or LSU or somebody. You're sitting there, you're scouting this player, and you're like, yeah, I'm here. I'm gonna scout him. And then you look to your right, or you look to your left, and then all of a sudden, this scout for Alabama happens to show up, and you're like, son of a. You're like, yep, we're going to lose out right here because they're signing with Alabama. So the minute you see that scout show up, you're like, oh, we're done. We're losing this player because they're going to Alabama. Because Alabama can promise you something that a lot of colleges can't.
wasn't that like the scene in Blindside when they're coming to watch Orr and they're like, oh, here's Tennessee or something, and I forgot the coach's name. Yeah, they go, oh, we might as well all just leave now.
There goes that.
Yeah.
So it's
it's the same. It's the same as with UConn, like we've said in women's college basketball. You're there recruiting this girl, and you watch Gio Ariema walk in, and you're like, oh, damn it.
Right? You're like, yeah, it's over. It's over.
Well, and then it's also the connections when they're sitting in the recruiting, and the coach is like, here, let me call a name, and I mean, he can call whoever they want, and you're like, here, talk to this recruit for a little bit, So, I mean, they can name drop anybody from Alabama that's been there, that's in the pros. Convince them.
Well, so if you're Nick Saban, I mean, you could go in and recruit one of two ways. You can walk in and you could be like, come play at Alabama, you win a national championship. And they're like, oh, but I want to go pro. Ah, cool. Come to Alabama, win a national championship, and go to the NFL.
Yeah.
Done. I mean, it's over. Like, that's it. You don't have another angle.
or come in with those college rings and be like, look what I got. You can have this too,
Yeah, but let's face the fact though. Nick Saban was a terrible NFL coach.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. But you learn after a while how far you can go. And Nick Saban realizes he's a genius in college, not a good NFL coach. And so he knows now, don't go past college because I can't coach in the NFL. So he knows his limits. It was kind of the same thing with Chip Kelly.
Yep.
He learned, okay? He learned don't go from college to the NFL. Because once Chip Kelly got to the NFL, he learned the hard way there. So but Nick Saban, let's just say this, he's not going anywhere anytime soon for Alabama. No. It's not going to happen. So Alabama's they're going to continue to be that dynasty for as long as they want to be. And there's not really anybody right now that's going to be able to stop them. It's just how it is. So before anybody, like I was saying, before anybody decides to come out and say that they lost all these players in the draft this year, it don't matter. It doesn't matter, guys. They're going to be just as good as they were this year. So don't worry about them losing all these players. It's not going to change a thing.
Nope, unless half the team declares themselves for the NFL, I don't see them losing much. I mean, losing 10 players to them ain't nothing.
Yeah, it's nothing because all they got to do, all they basically do is say next 10 guys up. That's all they do. It's like a rotation. They lose 10, they have the same 10 step up next. They lose another 10 steps up, and they do it again. So it's there. It's just a continuous thing that doesn't end. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and jump into our third topic, which you guys might have been a little surprised when I sent this out because it was about horse racing. So I think that's why it might have been a little surprising to you guys.
It was a little bit.
But the reason I threw this out is because if you guys remember when Medina Spirit won at Belmont, well, then after the race, they were tested and the horse tested positive for steroids. Now the trainer of it, which his name is Bob Baffert, okay, he trains Medina Spirit, and there's like 2 other horses that he trains. It's not coming to my mind for exactly the other 2 horses at this point in time, but all three of them had tested positive for something, and now they're allowing Medina Spirit to basically come back and race again in Preakness, this time with a little bit of extra testing and stuff on top of it. So as an added punishment, like, do you really think that they should allow Medina Spirit to come in and allow this horse to race in this race after testing positive for basically a steroid, after they basically came out and caught the horse with steroids? I mean, come on. You obviously know that this trainer's doing it on purpose because his 3 horses all tested positive for it. So now Bob Baffert came out and said that the reason that it was technically classified as a steroid, which he said it shouldn't have been, but he said it was a cream that I believe the horse had surgery or an operation, so had some stitches, and they were trying to clean its wound, and they had to continuously clean the wound, so they had to put the cream on it. That's what he said. That's what he said.
I heard a different story.
Yeah, that's what Bob Baffert came out and said, but I don't know. But J-Mac, what do you think? Do you think that Medina Spirit should be allowed to race?
I mean, it's a horse race. I don't. I really. I have no, for lack of a better term and a good pun, I have no horse in this race because I really don't. I mean, I kind of pay attention to who wins all 3, but I can't remember the last time I've sat down to watch a horse run. It's not something that's on my agenda. However, I'll say, should he be allowed to race? Sure, why not? Because, we've caught professional athletes with PEDs before, and what do? We slap them on the wrist. We tell them, oh, you got to sit out a few games. You're going to sit out a few games.
Exactly. They have to sit out a few games. This one is Medina Spirit doesn't have to miss any races. They're immediately coming out saying Medina Spirit can jump right back in and race again.
Is it really the horse's fault, though?
No, it's not. But the point is that you still have to you still have to punish the jockey and the trainer because they know that it's wrong. So how can you not punish technically the jockey or Bob Baffert? How can you not? It'd be like your horses are not allowed to race in this because you injected it with steroids.
Sure. Well, let me ask you a question. How much money do the top 1% of the population in America that earn the most money, how much do they stand to win or lose on this race? Probably a lot of money, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot.
So as we've seen the country go round and round, it's going to be the 1% that's come out and said, yeah, but it's just because of a cream, so it's fine.
Well, no, his story wasn't a cream. His story wasn't a cream, but that's not what it was.
Point is, it's going to get swept under the rug, and they're going to run the Preakness, and then they're going to go to the Belmont Stakes. See, yeah, I know all of them. I just don't watch it. But
well, yeah, right.
And then they'll go to the Belmont, and they'll be allowed to run the Belmont, and whatever. I mean, horse racing is a whole different world. Like, we see it as this horse race that goes, the Kentucky Derby, the Belmont Stakes, the Preakness. We see it as that. But there is a whole underworld that we don't even know about, that no one even talks about. And, yeah, it's very, very interesting if you look at behind the scenes of all this stuff. So, they're not. They'll tell them they'll lose some winnings or something is what they're going to do. But the amount of money that is made on horse racing for the bookies and the bettors and all of that, there is no way they're going to suspend a horse or a trainer or any of that from running a race. It's not going to happen.
No, I just think that, and I understand that they're putting in the paperwork that says we're going to have to do extra testing on your horses. I get that, but if you basically don't discipline them at all and basically just say, hey, you're allowed to come out and race, that's not really helping the cause, because it's basically showing you can go out and eject your horse cheat, and there's not going to be any punishment for it.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not disagreeing with you that's wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you that they should be punished. But let's face reality. It's not going to happen.
No, it won't. Okay, so Big B, you've heard from me. You've heard from J-Mac. How about you?
I want to hear from the horse and see what he has to say. But the story I heard.
Sorry.
No, but the story I heard is the trainer was blaming the maintenance guy or whoever keeps his stable clean and stuff, saying that he was doing something with the hay and and the horse ate the hay and stuff. That's the story I heard. I didn't hear the cream one.
Yeah, it was cream.
But either way, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous that we're testing horses now for a PhD, and there's a certain somebody that wants to challenge and test a contestant on my trivia show for PhD because so I don't know. It's a horse. I think if the next race wasn't one of the big races, yeah, they probably let him sit out or make him sit out. But it's a big race. They want the money. They want the horse there. So yeah, I let him race. Get a different trainer. Get a different, or not maybe a trainer, but get a different jockey. Because the trainers own the horse. So like you said, they're going to add in extra stipulations and test them more often. Which, again, why waste the money on testing them? I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of with J-Mac. I don't follow horse racing too much. I think it's kind of makes me laugh when I heard the story start off and they're testing horses now because they're winning, and it's just like, really? So,
well, I'm just saying, you best believe though that if Medina Spirit comes out and wins this one, there's going to be a test. They're going to
Okay.
They're going to test it again.
But first off, think of it this way. You mean to tell me that you don't think 50 years ago in horse racing that Secretariat and Seattle Slew and all of those other horses from back then were doing something illegal to get a leg up on the competition? Because I guarantee you they were. They were, but there wasn't testing. So can we really say that they're doing something that no one else has ever done?
Or the one that won the last Triple Crown. I mean,
So we can't. I mean, we can sit here and say these are the rules now, but again,
but for the trainer not to get punished, not to lose money on this, yeah, maybe they need to hit him hard, but they're just opening the book for other trainers to kind of try to sneak in steroids to their horses if they're not going to punish them. It's kind of like a certain NFL coach that deflated the footballs or something, or had Spygate. All they did was take draft picks away from them. Whoop-de-doo, So.
Yeah, but that was my point in all this, is that they weren't really disciplining them, which I'm like, it's not, now it's showing that it's completely okay to do it and you're going to get away with it. And it's basically saying that you can cheat with no punishment.
No, I agree. I mean, yeah, they need to do something.
All right. So going off this one, we're going to go to our next topic, which is all about J-Mac. So it's going to be J-Mac Spotlight Player. So J-Mac, what do you have for us today?
I actually got something really good. And this will test you guys' knowledge. And hey, Randy, since you're watching, let's see if you know this. Since you obviously know trivia and without Jeopardy, you might know the answer.
I'm not going to answer until Randy does because I want to steal the answer.
Yeah. So, who has... And no Googling on this because that's not fair. No one else gets to Google.
I don't think Randy's quick enough.
So if I said to you guys there was an NFL and a former NFL running back that led all time for career receptions by a running back, what is the first name that comes to your mind?
Marshall Faulk.
What was the question again?
Who is the all-time leader for receptions by a running back?
If it comes to like when you completely think about it, so the first one that comes to mind, because LT was all around back, but if we're talking about a spotlight player, which your spotlight player is somebody who a lot of people don't think about. So obviously LT is somebody that every football player, every football fan, I should say, knows who LaDainian Tomlinson is. So it's obviously you're not going to go there.
Very good. I'm glad you picked up on that.
Well,
I'm glad you picked up on that.
Marshall Falk is another guy that
Everyone would know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Everybody's going to know Marshall Falk.
But J-Mac did ask who was the first person to come to mind. Marshall Falk for me.
You're right.
You're right. Yeah, correct. But
and number 2 would be LaDainian Tomlinson. Correct.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing this. So
but those are not going to be the accurate guys because they're people that everybody knows. So if you have to really, and what exactly era are we talking about here?
Well, he said career.
But that'll give it away. It's just he still has the record, by the way. No one's passed him. So let's say that. He is not an active player. I'll give you that much. He's not an active player.
I kind of, there's a name that pops in my mind because I know for like the longest time he had receptions after receptions, which Matt Forte, he comes to mind.
Okay.
Mo Williams comes to mind for the Vikings. I mean, I remember him catching a lot out of the backfield.
Matt Forte, there's Arian Foster. Those guys.
Arian Foster was a good one.
Arian Foster, that's a good one. Not the right answer, but that's a good one.
Yeah. So, see, Matt Forte, Arian Foster. Whenever
you're ready for me to reveal the answer, I'll let you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm not even on the right track, honestly.
So it's probably going to be one of them.
Those type guys, you're close. It's a little before that time. I'll say that. It's a little before that time. Yeah, we all have watched this guy play. I guarantee you that, by the way. His best years were with Phoenix/Arizona Cardinals. So the guy that holds the record for the most career receptions by a running back is Larry Centers.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah.
He had 827 catches in his career for 6,797 yards and 28 receiving touchdowns. When he retired, he was actually 11th all-time in catches overall. We're talking receivers and everything. He was 11th ever in catches. He caught a pass in... I just had that pulled up, and I apologize. I should have. Anyway, he caught a pass in 128 consecutive games.
Wow.
Yeah. And he actually had the record for the most catches by a non-wide receiver until Tony Gonzalez broke that record in 2008.
Wow.
So he actually had that record. And he...
And what was Centers done playing? What was his last game?
His last year, let's see, he played 14 years, so he retired in 2004.
So he had that for another, 4 or 5 years until Gonzalez broke it. Wow.
Until Gonzalez broke it. And he still has the record for running back receptions. That's still an NFL record now. I'm sure it'll get broken someday because they throw to the running backs a lot now. Like, like an Alvin Kamara comes to mind, and those type guys.
McCaffrey.
So I'm sure it'll get broken yet. But by the way, so listen to this. This is crazy. By the way, he's never been on an NFL Hall of Fame ballot. Let me tell you that. And he has more career catches than Hall of Fame wide receivers Charlie Joyner and Michael Irvin. But he's never been put on a Hall of Fame ballot. And if there's a guy who deserves it, I mean, you're talking about a guy who he had 100 catches in one season and 99 catches in another season as a running back. That's insane. And that was back in the 90s when it wasn't a pass-happy league. Made the Pro Bowl 3 times. He was an All-Pro in 96. Even won a championship with the New England Patriots. He got his Super Bowl before he retired. So, anyway, Larry Centers, he was drafted in the 5th round, 115th overall. Not a guy you would think would even... You wouldn't think about drafting a running back, or he was actually considered a fullback, so you wouldn't think about drafting a fullback before the 5th round. But yes, a very interesting player for a spotlight player.
Who else did he play for? I mean, Cardinals.
So he played for the Cardinals from 90 to 98. He played for the Redskins in 99 to 2000. And then the Bills 2001 to 2002. And then New England in 2003. And then retired after the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a few comments out here. We have Randy Jorgensen, who's actually joining us. So I should say Jorgensen. I'm sorry. Okay. So I'll say, how you doing today? I hope it's going good. And then we also have Jeffrey Bearden, who's out here, and he's asking what we're talking about. Well, we're talking sports. So says the title, Sports Minute. So we're out here talking sports. So I hope you enjoy the show on that. So it comes to our last.
Hey, Randy Cox actually had a great comment there. Centers deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yes.
Mark this on the calendar. Randy Cox says something relevant. All right.
By the way, I'm glad that Ace picked up on the fact that when I bring up my spotlight players, usually they're guys that you're like, wow, they're not in the Hall of Fame yet for their career numbers. And it's those guys that you're like, dang, what?
Or you just don't, when you start doing the stats, it's like, no, it can't be that guy. And then you tell us, it's like, wow, he did that. So,
yeah.
No, it's definitely
Crazy.
a gone, or forgotten player, I should say.
All right, so now it comes to the point in the show to where we've done it every single week.
Does Randy want to join?
And Big B is still trying to get that victory over J-Mac, which Big B, you did it once. You beat him at the Vikings. When you had the Vikings, you beat him with the Vikings.
Yeah.
Okay, you did beat him there. But other than that, you have not been able to knock him off yet. And
we've had some close battles. I mean,
or NFL. But hey, there's been some great battles. So, J-Mac, what NFL team are you picking this week?
Just because Randy's watching and he's not going to think I know anything about this team, we're going to pick the Cowboys. Just because.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pick some Dallas Cowboys trivia. And so since J-Mac got to pick the team, Brandon, are you going to choose to kick or receive?
I'll go number 2.
All right, so J-Mac gets the very first question of the day. J-Mac, the first question for you is, in what year was the city of Dallas granted an NFL expansion franchise?
1960.
And that is the correct answer. 1960 is correct.
Well, I'm done.
so that is 1 point for J-Mac. All right. Big B, this question comes to you. What Dallas Cowboy was affectionately nicknamed Moose?
Oh, I know this one too.
Oh, God. Oh,
and keep in mind, when the question's asked, I like to see hands so I know that we're not, researching anything.
No, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Yeah.
I'll throw my phone away. Oh, God, his name. Every time he got the ball, too, they said Moose. Oh, God, what the hell is his name? Oh, God, I can't even think. I know when J-Mac says it, I'm going to be like, yep, and I'm going to throw my headset and computer and everything. I'll pass.
You're passing J-Mac.
Yeah.
It's Daryl Moose Johnston.
I could not think of his first name.
That is the correct answer. So J-Mac's up 2-0, and then this question goes to J-Mac. All right, the question is, what Dallas Cowboy holds the NFL record for most passes to start a career without an interception?
Tony Romo.
That is not the correct answer. So J-Mac missed his first one. Big B, this one comes to you.
I'm going to go with Dak Prescott.
That is the correct answer. Big B is on the board, so it's now 2-1.
Not a shutout.
So Dak Prescott actually went 176 passes, which actually broke the previous record set by Brady of 162. So,
Did Randy know that one?
all right. So, Big B, this question comes to you. Who was the first Dallas Cowboy to win the National Football League MVP award?
I think I know this one too.
Ooh. I'll go with Troy Aikman.
That is not the correct answer. J-Mac?
Roger Staubach.
And that is not the correct answer
Ooh.
either. The correct answer is actually Emmitt Smith.
Wow.
All right, so J-Mac, this question comes to you. What Dallas Cowboy running back set an NFL record with a 99-yard touchdown run against the Minnesota Vikings?
Tony Dorsett.
Yeah.
Tony Dorsett. I'll never forget the night that Dorsett torched the Vikings. That will forever be great.
What night was that? It was probably every time they played the Vikings.
Well, he ran for a 99-yard touchdown in that game, and then he ran for a 65-yard touchdown on the next drive. So he had 2 carries for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
All right, so I believe it's 3-1 now, J-Mac.
Yep, 3-1
So,
J-Mac.
Big B, this question comes to you. What player did the Cowboys trade to the Minnesota Vikings in
Come
1989?
on!
Dude, I gotta look this up. Herschel Walker.
This is like the worst trade in history.
It's terrible. Herschel Walker. That's,
All right, so it's now 3-2 J-Mac, okay?
God.
All right, so
Name the guys they traded for.
all right, J-Mac, this question is for you. What player holds the Cowboys' rookie record for tackles?
Cowboys rookie record for tackles. Sean Lee.
That's
That
correct.
is not correct. Big B?
Oh. God, did he play for the... Ed Too Tall Jones.
No, the correct answer is actually Leighton Vander Esch.
Oh, that was my second guess.
That would make sense, yeah.
All right, Big B, this question comes to you. Oh boy, looks like he's getting a point on this. Well, I've said this before, and then he ends up messing up a few.
J-Mac get called
Oh,
out.
J-Mac, you got called out by Mr. Randy Cox here. Come on, J-Mac. I thought you were all knowledgeable and knowing. So
That's cool. I know a lot of things that are relevant though. So
all right, so Big B, the question for you: the 2014 season ended on an overturned call of what completed catch by what receiver? So the catch or no catch, the famous catch or no catch.
Oh, God, who was the receiver on that?
I know.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think. I thought he would know this for sure.
Well, it's Michael Irvin.
Huh?
No, I said my answer.
2014.
Yeah, no, I said my answer.
All right, J-Mac.
Des Bryant.
Des Bryant, yeah.
After I remember what year.
I'm like, what? So it's now 4-2. Yeah, I thought
I heard 94.
I'm gonna stop saying that now. That I'm literally gonna stop jinxing Big B because I say it all the time. I go, "There's no way he can miss this." And then I
for
ask
some
the
reason, I was
question,
thinking 94.
and then he missed it.
Once you said 14, then it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and then once he said Michael Irvin,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait, what? 2014?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see here.
Randy Cox said it was a catch.
Done.
All right.
What,
So,
what
J
Randy
Mac,
Cox
this
says
question
doesn't
comes
matter.
to you. Which player holds the team record for longest reception by a rookie?
That is a tough one.
It's a good question.
Do you have it? Do you have it?
No, probably not. I feel like I feel like it's not the right answer. I'm gonna say Drew Pearson, but I don't think that's close.
And that is not the correct answer. Big B?
The first guy that came to mind, I don't even know if he was a rookie for Dallas, was I think his name was Rai Ishmael, the missile they called him.
Oh, Raheem? But
Yeah.
that is not the correct. The correct answer is actually Ezekiel Elliott.
You know what?
Wow. Wow.
I was like, I know it's gonna be something stupid, like something like that, where it's not a wide receiver or tight end.
All right,
Yeah.
Big B. This question comes to you, and you can't wait. Never mind. I'm not saying anything. Okay, I'm not gonna jinx it this time. I'm not gonna jinx it. What Dallas Cowboys head coach invented the flex defense?
Jimmy Johnson.
That is not the correct answer.
The what defense?
The flex defense.
Barry Switzer?
No, so the correct answer is actually Tom Landry.
Oh.
Yeah, that was all right. J-Mac, this question comes to you. Let's see what we got here. Which Cowboy was the first NFL player to kick 3 field goals of 60 yards or more?
Ooh. Oh gosh, dang it! What's his name? Man. I don't remember his name.
All right, Big B.
I'll go with Daniel Bryant.
No. And Randy Cox, let me tell you this. You say that you always take this kicker in fantasy football. That's actually not accurate. You don't always take this kicker in fantasy football. Because the correct answer is actually Brett Maher.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I knew his last name started with an M, but it was something weird, and I couldn't. Yeah. I didn't know what his first name was, though.
All right. Big B.
Yeah.
This question comes to you.
Okay.
You cannot mess this up. There's no way you can mess this up.
Wilson?
Who purchased the Dallas Cowboys in 1989?
Come on.
Jerry Jones.
There you go. And so it's now 4-3, which I told you there was no way that you could mess that up.
Unless I would have said Jimmy Johnson or Jimmy Jones or something.
Well, I've seen you.
Oh, we've all seen me do that.
All right. J-Mac, this question comes to you. How many consecutive winning seasons did the Dallas Cowboys have under Tom Landry?
Oof. 11?
No, that's not correct.
I'll go 7.
That is not the correct answer either. The correct answer is actually 20.
Wow.
Well, a lot more than I thought. Yep.
All right, Big B, this question comes to you.
Well, yeah,
What
Randy,
Dallas-
you were thinking of a different kicker.
What Dallas Cowboys quarterback holds the NFL record for highest rookie passer rating?
Dak Prescott.
That is the correct answer, Big B. All right, it's now 4-4. So Big B, you're holding strong. You're holding strong in there. Is this the day that J-Mac's winning streak gets knocked off the board?
If it is, I'll dedicate it to Randy.
In the 93 season, this one's for J-Mac, in the 93 season finale against the Giants, what injury did Emmitt Smith play most of the game with?
Oh, God. I want to say it was like a cracked rib or something in here in the sternum, some kind of bone, something with the ribs.
And that is not the correct answer. Big B, you have a chance.
I'm going to say, God, there could be so many. Torn calf.
That is not the correct answer. The correct answer was actually a separated shoulder.
Ooh.
All right. Big B, this could be it right here. This is your chance to end the streak. Which of the following triplets was the first to be inducted into the Ring of Honor?
Triplets.
So when they're talking about triplets,
No!
No,
You can't tell them
no.
who the triplets are.
I was just saying.
I'll go with Aikman, Irving, and Smith.
Okay, which of the triplets? The question is which of the triplets. So
Which one? I
Yeah,
thought
so-
you meant which
so
trio.
if you
Okay, I
think-
gotcha.
yeah, so if you think there was one, you say that one. If you think they're all, then you say all, and it's
No, I'll go with Aikman. Was the first one to get in.
okay, and that is not the correct answer. J-Mac.
Irvin.
And that is not the correct answer. The correct answer is actually that they were all three inducted together.
Got it. So I should have said all three, like I said, but I got what you meant.
All right. So, J-Mac, the question is, what position did Randy White play his first 2 seasons in Dallas?
Randy White. So. Wow, man, wasn't he a defensive end?
A defensive end?
Yeah.
That is not the correct answer. Big B.
Outside linebacker.
That is not the correct answer. The correct answer is actually defensive tackle.
Gosh dang it, I was one spot off.
And that's the first one that came to mind, too, after you said defensive end. Oh.
All right, Big B. Can you end the streak right here? This is the question for you. Which Dallas Cowboy left football in 1979 to pursue a boxing career?
Pursue a boxing career, 79. Shoot. Wish I knew my boxing right now. Ed Jones.
That is the correct answer. Big
Shut
B.
up. Shut
Yeah,
up.
you got the right answer. You got the right answer.
Shut up.
That
Big
was
B.
that was the
Big B just won his first matchup against J-Mac. He
a
got
while.
it right.
I pulled that one out of where J-Mac normally pulls out his answers like that.
Wow, you got it right. Congratulations, Big B. You pulled off the victory this week against J-Mac 5-4.
All right, and that one's going out to Randy.
I'll tell you what, you pulled that out of nowhere.
I did. I'm just like, why not throw it out there?
All right. So that was it for that. So Big B, you have a victory speech. What you got to say?
No, it's fun playing J-Mac. I mean, the guy's got unlimited knowledge in it, and I thought I had a lot of sports knowledge, but J-Mac, he's top of the cake. So to pull off this win with the answer out of left field or out of my butt, one of the two, it's great. So, but J-Mac's a tough competitor.
All right. And Big B, you have a fan out there. Randy Cox is saying good job. So
Congratulations.
Here, I won't make him a fan. RK Bro.
RK Bro. All right. So J-Mac, you got 30 seconds to say whatever it is you got to say.
Check it out. I think we're gonna do a music show tomorrow, and then the Four Bros Radio Show will be on Friday, and we'll be back with you on Sportsminute on Saturday. Congratulations to Big B, like you earned that one. I think there was a couple of cupcake questions you got in there that probably anyone could answer, but
Oh yeah,
that it's all good,
we
man.
know if
Like,
anybody can answer them, but
hey, it's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
it's all fun.
It's all fun and
Yeah.
games. We're not gonna sit here and talk crap to you for a week because you didn't come out here and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna dominate you" like someone else did. So
No,
Yeah.
but Big B, when he gets those easy questions, he seems to kind
I
of fluff
screwed
them up.
up.
And I'm not sure why.
I'm probably 500 on the easy questions, those softball ones as we call them.
Right.
But Ace, before you close it out, I just want to take a second to remember a legend in the Vikings family we lost. Head coach Jerry Burns passed away today at the age of 95. So he lived a good life. So I just want to throw that out there. I know you guys are Packer fans, so
Yep. Hey,
got to respect the legends.
Hey,
respect to a legend.
I still respect the legend. It's completely okay,
Yep.
regardless of if I'm a Packer fan or not. All right. Well, with that being said, though, I hope everybody has a fantastic night. And keep in mind that tomorrow we're going to have a music show, and then you can also catch me on the M16 network. And so I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and we will see you again on Saturday for another episode of Sports Minute. So everybody have a great night.